Congratulations. You have been invited to Earth 3, Wilderness Survival 380 million years ago. 6 a.m. You wake up on an unfamiliar coastline. This sea cannot be found on any modern map. The first sensation is scorching heat. The second sensation is suffocation, because the oxygen level here is only 15%, less than 3% compared to modern times. Congratulations. You have arrived at 800 million years ago, in the Devonian Period, an era known as the golden age of fish in the oceans. At this time, land was just learning to nurture life. Most critically, you already feel a sting on your skin. The ultraviolet rays pierce your skin like needles. The ozone layer here is much thinner than in modern times. For every extra minute you stay in the sun, you get one step closer to second-degree burns. You only have a few items on you: a knife, a rope, a lighter, a canteen, a few fish hooks, and a mosquito net. And right now, Earth has only two massive landmasses, Gondwana in the south and Euramerica in the north. In between lies the shrinking Rheac Ocean, surrounded by the vast Panthalassa Ocean across the northern hemisphere, endless and boundless. And right now, on this planet, you are the only upright walking vertebrate, a completely unique anomaly of this era. The coastal air is hot and humid, with temperatures remaining at 25 to 27 degrees Celsius year-round. The humidity is so high it leaves you breathless. Even stranger is the smell in the air, a mixture of sulfur, decaying algae, and damp soil. The beach beneath your feet glows slightly red, interspersed with black iron oxides. That is a signature trace of Devonian soil, RICH in iron elements. Looking down, the beach is covered with shells, the exoskeletons of myriapods, creatures similar to mollusks, yet belonging to an entirely different evolutionary branch. They can be seen everywhere here. In fact, the entire coastline is built up from their accumulated shells. In the intertidal zone of the beach, palm-sized trilobites are still crawling around. They possess compound eyes made of calcite, giving them better vision than yours, capable of clearly capturing your every move. And this was the most perfect visual system on Earth at that time. Looking toward the distance, half a kilometer away, the first true forest in Earth's history comes into view. Those are Archaeopteris, growing up to 30 meters tall, with palm-like fronds and thick root systems. They appeared only a few million years ago, yet they completely transformed Earth. Before they appeared, the land was just bare rock, with only a thin layer of moss and lichen. The roots of Archaeopteris, for the first time, penetrated deep into rocks to extract minerals, fixing carbon in the soil, which created real soil. With humus, earthworms, and fungi, it acted like a giant lung for Earth, absorbing carbon dioxide from the air and paving the way for the future evolution of life. At 7 a.m., the dry heat intensifies, and the feeling of oxygen deficiency becomes increasingly noticeable. Your heart rate accelerates, and your head feels slightly dizzy. These are mild symptoms of hypoxia. Your top priority is to find fresh water. The canteen is already completely empty, and seawater is absolutely undrinkable. In the Devonian Period, dehydration combined with hypoxia will dull your brain. So you walk south along the coast. 20 minutes later, you finally find a stream. The stream flows down from higher ground, cutting through the reddish-brown soil and emptying into the ocean. The stream water is clear and cool. You quickly fill your canteen and take a sip. The taste is pure, with a subtle mineral bitterness. You feel it is safe to drink. But the moment you lower your head, you catch sight of something between the rocks at the bottom of the stream. A 30-centimeter long fish swimming slowly. That is a Gyroptychius, a type of placoderm fish. It is gentle by nature, feeding on bottom mud and humus. It poses no danger, but its presence serves as a reminder that this stream connects to the ocean, and far more dangerous creatures might lurk beneath the surface. The time is now 8 a.m. As the sun rises higher, the ultraviolet rays grow increasingly intense. The skin on your arms has already begun to turn red. This is no ordinary sunburn. The Devonian ozone layer cannot block UVB rays. Your modern skin is completely unadapted to this. Without cover, you'll be severely sunburned in 6 hours, swollen in 12 hours, and blistered in 24 hours. Your only sanctuary is that ancient Archaeopteryx forest. So you walk into the forest and instantly feel a sense of cool relief. The temperature is 5 to 7 degrees Celsius lower than outside, and ultraviolet rays drop by 20%. Looking up, half-meter-wide trunks shoot straight toward the sky, reaching a canopy 20 to 30 meters high. Rough, diamond-patterned bark and palm-like fronds weave together into a thick, shady canopy. Beneath your feet are no longer rocks and sand, but a soft layer of forest humus. This is the very first leaf litter layer in Earth's history, composed of decaying leaves, bark, and fungal mycelium, moist, soft, and giving off an earthy, fungal scent. Hidden inside this forest is Earth's most primitive terrestrial ecosystem. In the humus layer, centimeter-long myriapods squirm about, tiny ticks cling to fallen leaves, and a spider-like, non-web-spinning trigonotarbid crawls through. It is only about the size of a thumbnail, preying on myriapods and ticks. The entire ecosystem, concentrated within a single square meter of leaf litter, is nevertheless teeming with life. This is the early prototype of terrestrial life. Even more shocking, several towering pillars stand within the forest. Prototaxites, up to 8 meters tall and a meter in diameter. They are neither trees nor rock monoliths, resembling giant fungi more than anything, or organisms that science still cannot precisely define. They are the largest terrestrial organisms of the Devonian period. Before Archaeopteryx appeared, they were the rulers of the land. But now, as Archaeopteryx grows taller and taller, the era of prototaxites is coming to an end. What you see before you is also the final glimpse of these primeval giants. Time reaches 10 a.m. The tree shade has spared your skin, but a new problem arises. Food. On Devonian land, there are no edible plants, fruits, seeds, or tubers. The only edible things are arthropods, like myriapods and ticks, but they are far too small to provide sufficient calories. Real food exists only in the water, yet the water is the domain of apex predators. So you return to the stream. Using an Archaeopteryx branch, you craft a fishing pole, tie a hook with the rope, bait it with crushed myriapods, and cast it into the deepest pool of the stream. 10 minutes later, a fish takes the hookah Gyroptychius. Its 30-centimeter body is covered with thick bony plates. The flesh is firm. You carefully pry open its armor with your knife. It takes you half an hour to extract the meat inside. This is your very first meal in the Devonian period. Next is starting a fire. The lighter catches, but oxygen here is only 15%, the bare minimum threshold for combustion. The flame is weak and gives off thick smoke, requiring constant blowing to keep it burning. With every breath you blow, extra stamina is drained, and stamina here is more precious than anything. The Gyroptychius slowly roasts over the fire. Without salt or seasoning, it still carries a faint sweetness and a mineral aroma. This single meal provides you with enough caloric energy for 3 to 4 hours of activity. To survive a full day, you will need at least 3 fish like this. Time reaches 12 p.m. noon. The sun is directly overhead. Even inside the forest, The temperature reaches 32 degrees Celsius, with 90% humidity. Sweat pours out endlessly, and the water in your canteen is empty once again. You return to the stream once more, only to find the stream mouth flowing into the ocean becoming murky.